I live at Hawaiʻi, also known as Waianae Boat Harbor. Been living here a year and almost a month. Well, just me, my wife, and my son. It's my home. We're just trying to make it out here, make a living, and especially with high rent, like, what they're paying everybody is not even close to enough to be able to afford.
One data point that we talk about all the time, and I think it's what we really need to think about, which is Native Hawaiians participate in the labor force at much higher rates than any other ethnic group, and at the same time earn about $10,000 less per capita. Every time you have someone from outside come in and buy a property, and you have Hawaiians who work more but make less money, their buying power is they can't buy that unit, they cannot compete. And so somebody else buys the unit, there's no units left for them. This is a systemic problem that we have with income inequality in our state. And I think in general, our tendency as society is to look at people who are unsheltered and say it's their fault. Because that's easier than looking at the systemic reasons why people are there, which affect all of us. It also means realizing how close all of us are to being in that position. We want to believe maybe we're not as close as we think we are. We need to start asking ourselves, why did we get this way? And overwhelmingly, we know the way we got here is because we do not have enough affordable housing for the people in Hawaii. And we're dealing with us being part of a market here in Hawaii where people want to live here and the demand is great. But unfortunately, we have had very weak policies that would require any sort of affordable housing to be built for truly affordable people.
I looked into affordable housing even before we moved over here, but we didn't make enough income for the amount of people we had in our household. For me, I work. I'm a welder fabricator, but we still don't make enough.
We know that in 2017, we had over 7,000 documented homeless across the islands, and that's just the documented. We know that that's a number that is probably higher. We don't have enough housing to put all of those people under roof now. And the current estimates for what could be built under the best scenarios are going to take years. This problem isn't going to go away anytime soon, and we don't have the ability now, nobody's coming up with any solutions to help alleviate the suffering that's going on now. What do we do to bring down the hurt and the pain and the challenges that so many of our people, and especially our Kanaka community, are facing every day, every week, every year that we continue to ignore the problem?
When I first heard about this place, Pu'uhonua, I was a bit skeptical because I've heard about a lot of druggies and a lot of problems, so I was really cautious about coming in here. When I actually walked inside, seeing everybody making like little houses with what they had, making fences with rocks or whatever they could find, but they're making their own little area. Just like a house you would see in the streets. Just out there you got your neighbors living next to you, talk story. Over here you got your neighbors living next to you, talking story, just like normal life. People at work go out work, come back home, see our family. It's not as bad as everybody thinks it is.
The Pu'uhonua Waiʻanae community is, it's not ideal, but it helps. It gives people who have nowhere to go, because it's harder now to get into a shelter with the state's new coordinated entry system. Twinkles, she has this spirit about her where she'll welcome you. She will take you off the street and put you in a place surrounded by others who have the same issue, others who are going through the same things, and she'll welcome you into her community.
But we do have one spot open closer. Yeah, like right across of our donation tent.
All right, come on, show me where the spot is.
Okay, come on. Aloha, my name is Twinkle Borge, leader of Pu'uhonua Waiʻanae. Pu'uhonua is actually located in the Waiʻanae Boat Harbor in a bush right in between the tennis court and the high school. Currently, I want to say over 200 people here. A year ago, we were at 330. In a state size, they thought we had 500 people here. There's no ways we can fit 500 on 19 acres. Here, we build our own, mostly through pallets to woods that has been donated to us. We have water, we bring in our own water. We have electricity. Some of us is off the grid. Here, that's your area. You take care of your area that is good to you. You build it however way you want it. But respect where you at. That's one of my main rules. And if you don't have, we do have a donation tent that you are welcome to at any time. I know they would get more help here than being on the streets.
Now, as a service provider, it's helpful because we have a great relationship with Twinkles. She'll reach out to us and say, hey, I have this new family here. You know, they got kicked out of their home because they cannot pay their rent. Or they got kicked out of a shelter down the road. You know, they need someplace to stay. Can you guys come in and see what they need?
The good thing about living in this community, we have a place to come home to. We don't need to worry about anybody breaking in or stealing our stuff. You guys want to check out the inside too? Yeah. Just don't mind the mess. TV, PlayStation. We have a couch, carpet.
How does it feel in the weather?
It's cold. It gets very cold. When it rains, we gotta make sure there's no leaks in our tent, so we gotta cover it with tarp or plastic sheeting, whatever we can find.
Leave them the way they are. You bring the agencies in, let them help them to get to the next level, whether if they want to go into a home or not. Let that be their choice, not your choice, you know? Getting into homes, getting into shelters or permanent housing, 200 plus people I've helped. Getting them clean and sober, I want to say 100 plus.
This place is a massive benefit to the outside community, to the community at large, because people have to be somewhere. And if they're not here, they're gonna be somewhere else. You know, and if they wanted to be in the shelter, they would have been in the shelter. You know, so if they're not going to the shelter and they're not here, they're gonna be all over every single bus stop. They're gonna be in every single park. You know what I mean? They're gonna be all over. I think maybe one of the reasons why people don't always go to the shelters is because maybe not everybody wants to be fixed. You know, and it's not because, oh, they like do drugs or because they like be an alcoholic. We have people in here, they don't do drugs and they're not alcoholics. So we have a lot of people here that keep their places maintained nicely. You know, it's not I want to be this lazy bum, it's just I'm fine how I am. I just cannot afford $1,300 a month rent. You know, people, they think, oh, they don't like to go to the shelter because they don't like the rules. I'm like, get rules over here too, you know. But, you know, with that, you know, that intake and then there's this camaraderie that comes between everybody because, hey, you know, we here now. You know, more this judgment, you know, you get this community. You know, as long as you're here, you're part of this family.
Pu'uhonua has a sense of community that, like, I miss. That they know each other And more than know each other, they care about each other on a deep and daily basis. They check in with each other. They have trust with each other enough that they'll let their kids be watched by everybody else, because there's that sense of knowing, that sense of aloha. You know, our current housing models for generations now have actually, I think, destroyed what is true community, in that they don't allow us organic, natural ways to live and be with each other. And as challenging as Pu'uhonua is in the fact that it's in a Kiave Grove, you know, next to the ocean out at Waianae Boat Harbor, without any running water or any sewer facilities, they make that community work, and they live each day with aloha for each other. And that's a lesson to us all.
My biggest challenges right now is with the state. I think if they could admit that we do work, we may not be perfect, but I have a lot to say about that, but I might get too emotional, you know. We are working. What are we doing so bad? Okay, hello you guys.
Hey,
How are we feeling?
This past Sunday, we had a lot of negative press in the paper, and I'm seeing attitudes starting to turn, or at least become more vocal, that what you've created shouldn't be supported. And simultaneously, we're getting word from inside the government that they're considering sweeping you.
In reality, they should be sitting here with us so we can be talking, you know. What about my kids, my kupunas? How can we be effective for them? How can we help them, you know?
My thought is we need to put together a press conference. What do you guys think about that?
I just hope that she can send us her mana'o in helping us walk through this. You know? Yeah. Mahalo for your mana and your love. I want to share some facts about our village and correct some of the false things that has been said about us. We work hard to solve our own problems without being burdened to taxpayers or to our community. Our village works like an ohana, and it's built on aloha. Many of our residents have the terrible trauma in their lives. The feeling of ohana is what enables many to heal and thrive. This kind of ohana cannot be replicated in shelters or in temporary housing assignments. We want to be treated as people, not problems. We don't want to be swept with only a few days' notice. We want to dialogue with people making decisions about our future. We want to keep our ohana together as much as possible. We are open to exploring all options, including new location.
Right now, I know you guys were supposed to be here for a hearing. What's that one message in a nutshell?
To help us. They have the ability and the power to even help us, you know, to see that it does work. We can find a new place, transition there, bring in the agencies, you know. I believe that we can be the solution, you know. It's just not about Waianae, it's about the whole island. Look at our whole island. They do not even have a solution, but yet you go on with your sweet. Shame on you.
What I would like to see, based, you know, even on today's press conference and those guys starting to stand up and tell their own story, is that I hope the state will come to realize that sweeps are antithetical to solving this problem, and come out along with the city and say, okay, unless it's a dire situation of public safety, we're not going to keep continuing to sweep people in communities.
We are proud of our village and invite you to come to an open house event that we are having on Sunday, February 25th, so that you can see firsthand what our village has built. Hi, hello you guys. Thank you guys for coming to Pu'uhonua. You know, just showing off our homes and whatnot. Just keep open mind.
Well, I know this community has been here a long time. It's pretty well established. and you know, they've got like streets made, everything's pretty neat and tidy, and you know, they've been running basically this village on their own for years. Is pretty impressive.
Auntie Twinkles, who runs the encampment, this is her place right here.
I'm here to look at what Twinkles has done, and part of her magic, her genius in transforming people in a homeless encampment and making it a home. And it's not costing the state $1. If I were to equate this to money, government money, taxpayer money, this might cost about $2, $3, $4 million. So to me, Twinkle's saving the state $3 or $4 million a year.
Some of them, if you need help, someone will always come out and help. Someone hungry, someone will always come and feed.
Twinkle's village represents stability and healing, and that's what we're missing. This is a blueprint to follow.
Amen. Thank you. Yeah.
You got it.
And so one idea, and Pu'uhonua o Waianae is pointing towards that, is giving us opportunity to rethink housing on these limited islands, is allow people to find places that are appropriate, but that since we cannot as a society provide for them immediately, allow and work with them to organically build communities in appropriate, healthy, safe environments. And Pu'uhonua is an example of that as a way that we can look at ways to get people immediately sheltered. I don't think it's the silver bullet, and I don't think it's the end, but I think it's one of a suite of answers that we need to consider. That being said, we cannot forget to continue to work on long-term solutions that are ultimately going to place people and our communities in long-term stable housing situations.